This is the On the Pony Express podcast, part of the On3 network. Check out all the SMU coverage you need at ontheponyexpress.com. Now, here's your host, Billy Embody. 1, 2, 3, let we go.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to this special edition of the On the Pony Express podcast. Appreciate you guys tuning in, but I did want to drop this one a little closer to SMU-Stanford for one special reason. We've got a crew of Mustang fans headed to Palo Alto from Paso Robles, had a beautiful, epic wine tasting and happy hour at the Armstrong's Winery there, Epic Estate Wines in Paso Robles. What an unbelievable event. And on Saturday, bussing over to Palo Alto to catch SMU-Stanford. That's a 5 p.m. local kick, 7 p.m. Central on ACC Network. We'll be there covering it for you at ontheponyexpress.com, and subscribe to ontheponyexpress.com. Get a discount on your annual subscription today. We're growing like crazy. It's the message board to be at. We've got all the news, all the scoop. So be sure to be there. And we wanted to drop this special edition and appreciate Chris Smith, SMU's SID, and SMU football for allowing us some extra special access to SMU football players during the bye week to get some special interviews for you guys to enjoy an extra podcast on the bus ride to Palo Alto. So hopefully this makes the bus ride go by a little bit quicker. We hope you're enjoying some epic wine with this podcast, whether it be something you bought at Epic or the rosé to kick off your game day for SMU-Stanford. So this is going to drop kind of late night Friday, be available Saturday morning to everybody, and hopefully you get a chance to check out the podcast on the bus ride over if you're looking to kill some of that time. So without any further ado, I want to lead off this podcast with a California native who's headed back home to play in a college football game in his home state, and that is wide receiver Jake Bailey, one of the best interviews on the team. He joined me to talk about the bye week, State Fair, doing some of those things to get ready for a return to play as SMU gets back at it with this game against Stanford this weekend. So without further ado, we're going to go for our quick chat with SMU wide receiver Jake Bailey. Welcome back to the On the Pony Express podcast. I'm Billy Embody. Happy to be joined now by SMU wide receiver Jake Bailey. Jake, thanks so much for the time. You're fresh off the bye week. What'd you do for the bye in terms of getting around the State Fair, I heard?
Right. Got to go check out the fair for the first time. Me, my girl, a couple friends, but just an amazing experience. They got all the food, all the rides, stuff that I would never see at home, in California, stuff that, is only out here. So it was great to see.
And, with that bye, what'd you do? Just getting your body back,
right.
Kind of resetting, after what was a tough 3-game stretch, but a really productive one for you guys.
Right. Like you said, really tough 3-game stretch. TCU, Florida State, Louisville, all very physical games, all, gritty, tough wins. So after that, naturally, guys are, a little banged up, bruised and bumps, things like that. So this week was huge, just getting everybody healthy, getting everybody back right so we can go ahead and finish the second half of the season off strong.
That 3-game stretch, what does it mean to you guys,
right.
To look back, if you can, and assess what you guys did accomplish?
Right. It's big. It really is big, and it's important to celebrate those victories. So we definitely don't overlook that. At the same time, we're halfway through the season, and as good as those wins feel, we really haven't accomplished anything, substantial yet. We have such, huge goals ahead of us, and we're in the perfect position to go chase those. But we got to remember to keep it one day at a time, one game at a time, stay grounded, and continue to earn every single day.
Do you guys look back on that BYU game as kind of a reminder of where you've been and now where you've come, but you don't let yourself kind of buy into all of the hype and the buzz around the program and things like that?
Right. No, it's a constant reminder. That sick feeling, the what ifs, if we just did a couple different things, we could be, undefeated right now. But that feeling kind of drives you, you know what I'm saying? You don't want that feeling again, and it's a constant reminder of if you don't bring your best and show up every single game day, you can lose to anybody. Not to say that BYU's anybody. They're a dang good team this year. Absolutely. But no, it definitely helps, motivate and continue to drive us, continue to remember that, we're not perfect. There's always things to work on. But when we do get clicking and we do get rolling, we're tough to stop. So, no.
What's the changes been like on offense? You guys were able to kind of circle the wagons after that game,
right.
And now you're on track. You're playing really efficient. What's that been like to see that the changes come with production and
right.
success?
Right. It's been, really nice to see. Starting off earlier in the year, it was a lot of growing pains, struggling offensively. And with a team like we have with so many, different weapons and, as diverse as we are, it's sometimes hard to get everything to mesh together and gel well. So just being able to get through that is, a testament to us and our coaches and everybody, on offense is just, constantly working together to try to find, what works. Going butting heads and arguing, whatever it takes to get through that and start rolling. And then once we do start clicking, it's beautiful. It's art. We put up a lot of points, and it's a lot of fun to play in that offense. So it's been good.
You mentioned all the weapons. What was it like for you to get that really extended run at slot with Rod going to with Junior going to running back? I mean, you probably needed this bye week just about as much as anyone on the legs there.
Absolutely. We had a couple running backs go down. Having a guy like Junior is a blessing. A freak athlete who can play pretty much any position on the field. And you throw him at running back, and he produces just as much as anyone else. So he's done a great job there. And then, I get a couple more snaps in the slot, which I'll never complain. I'll play the whole game if you let me. So, but no, and we also bring in, our tight end RJ to play some, mix in the slot a little bit, take some off me, and he's, a freak in his own right. So it's, wherever you look, we got guys who can produce, and we're finally getting everybody to, come together.
Elijah Roberts was talking about it after the Louisville game, how there is so much to still build on and clean up. And how do you guys as leaders kind of impress upon the entire team, like, hey, we're not there yet.
Right.
And even though we've done all these cool things, we've still got so much more to do.
Yeah, I think this time especially is the most important to really come together and keep everything in-house and be that tight-knit unit that we are. I think, after a big win like last week, you're going to get so many people coming from the outside. Oh, great job. You guys are, the hottest thing in the country right now, beating these teams, and it's great. It's great, and we thank you, and we love that. We do. Yeah. We love that. But, we know what's real. We know what's important, and we have to make sure to stay focused, keep the distractions outside, and just continue to do what we do every single day.
What's this year been like for you? I know last year was obviously special outside of, no touchdowns or whatever, but you win a championship last year. You're on the board touchdown-wise.
Absolutely.
The offense is cooking. What's it been like for you?
It's fun. And knowing that we can play with anybody, knowing that any game is winnable, that's fun. Having that confidence and being able to just go out there and let it rip with a group of guys that is feeling the same way. We're all on the same page. It's just fun. It really is. That kid fun feeling that comes with it. And then, the wins every weekend are just, that's what we do it for. Winning is the best feeling, and hopefully we can keep it going.
What have you seen from Kevin Jennings since he's taken over? And speaking of fun, is he starting to have maybe a little bit more fun?
Kevin, no, he always has fun, but just mature, just growing up so fast right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me, two things, has been the decision making and then just the throws he's been able to make, whether it's dropping back in the pocket, on the run. But he's been so decisive, making the right decision more often than not, and then taking care of the ball as well. Not turning it over, playing smart. So he's just doing a lot of good things right now, and hopefully we continue to build.
Looking ahead to Stanford, and we'll wrap this up, what are your thoughts on them from what you've seen as far as what they bring to the table?
Yeah, tough physical opponent. They're going to pound the rock, control the clock, and play great defense. That's their style, and that's a tough game. It's going to be a long game. We got to make sure to not turn the ball over at all, take advantage of every opportunity as far as how many drives we get, because they're going to try to limit that. Take advantage of it. Don't give it away, and just play physical all game because they're going to bring it.
You got a lot of ticket requests for this one. You need more NIL.
20 tickets. If everybody's got tickets, I need like 20 this game. So.
What is it going to be like to be able to play a game in your final college season in your home state?
Right. No, I think that's awesome. We got people coming from Southern California. We got people coming from San Francisco. Everybody's meeting in the middle. So. No, it'll be awesome. It'll be really cool. I know my family's excited, so I'm happy for them.
Awesome. Well, Jake, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. I know everybody's going to enjoy this one.
Absolutely.
For Jake Bailey and Billy Embody, we'll be right back with more on the Pony Express podcast after this. Appreciate Jake for stopping by with us. We do have to remind you guys that we are presented by our friends at StatusJet, statusjet.com. I know some of you guys worked with them on this Stanford trip to get out there, big plane, small plane. They could even helicopter you. And it's perfect for some of those games that SMU will play at Cal, at Stanford if you want as well. Quick trips up and down the coast from wine tasting to SMU football. Guess what? Code PonyUpACC still works, gets you a discount on that round trip flight. Friends, family, clients, other Mustang fans, you can fly with just about anyone looking to get a trip together for an SMU game day, or whether you want to take a vacation or book a work trip with StatusJet, they're there for you today. We've got some big road games coming up, as well as SMU basketball hitting the road. So be sure to book with them today at StatusJet. Up next is another Mustang that everybody is very familiar with at this point, and that is SMU safety Jonathan McGill, one of the best players on this football team the last 2 seasons. He joined me to talk about, once again, State Fair during the bye week, resetting and getting back acclimated to that Mustang way of football defensively, and getting ready for return to play in his former college stadium, Stanford. He graduated from Stanford and he moved back home to Texas to play out the final 2 seasons of his college career, and he did it with the Mustangs. We really appreciate Jonathan McGill, not only for joining us on the podcast for the special interview, but also a little shout out at the end there. So without any further ado, SMU safety Jonathan McGill. Welcome back to the On the Pony Express podcast. I'm Billy Embody. Happy to be joined now by SMU safety Jonathan McGill. We've known each other a long time, all the way back to your first run as an SMU commit before going to Stanford, where you're going this week. But before we talk about that, what'd you do for the bye? How was the fair? What was your favorite food? All those things.
Yeah, so I had pretty much kind of just hung out here, hung with my family, just got a second to really just relax and kind of just be a college student athlete for a week, and so that was fun. Went to the fair on, Tuesday, I think, of last week. The candy pork belly bites were kind of my favorite. The turkey leg was really good. Always got to do the fried Oreos. They had the biscotti cheesecake. Oh. So, yeah, I tried a little bit of everything. I went with my family, so we kind of ordered by group and then kind of just picked a little bit. So, I'd say the candy pork belly bites.
A couple more sprints after that.
Yeah. Felt it a little bit on. We had a team run on Friday, so felt it on Friday, but got it out, so we're good now.
There you go. What's this season been like for you, being a Dallas guy and seeing SMU be so well received? With the move to the ACC, the run that you guys have been on these last 3 games.
Yeah, I think it's been something that's shocking to me, and something that's really cool to see in terms of how much, like, growing up, I guess when I was in high school, SMU was good, right? But I feel like the support wasn't as strong as it is now in terms of, you look at the fans, how, like, we pack out the stadium, like the student section. So I think that's like a really cool thing to see, and something that, I know people have been talking about, like, we can get it to this point, but actually seeing it into fruition is something I think that's been cool for myself. And then obviously, we're playing, well. Coach Tibbs had told us, like, a pat on the back, turns to a pat on the butt pretty soon. So you don't want to be you don't want to be a team that just, plays well, certain weeks and then, fall off or decline. So trying to keep the main thing. We understand, we're ranked right now, which is, great. But, that doesn't matter if we don't continue to win and continue to be our best versions of ourselves.
So what does that look like in the bye week as you guys have had a great three-game stretch, really important wins, and you're now truly in this conversation of ACC championship and all the different things that I guess I can talk about a little bit more than you guys, but how do you make sure that you don't get too far ahead while also cleaning up things that you guys need to do?
Yeah, I think our coaches do a great job of stressing the importance. They tell us we broke down the season really. It's crazy how it worked out of 4 quarters. You have 3 games, then a bye week, then 3 games, then a bye week, then 3 games, then a bye week, then 3 games. And so for us, it's kind of just looking at attacking every single quarter, and you can't attack the quarter without attacking the first game of that quarter. And so for us, this week, Stanford's that quarter. So obviously our coaches do a great job of self-scout, things that we've messed up, things that we can get, potentially based on what we gave up in weeks prior. And so they prepare us really well. And so I'd say our staff does a great job of fixing our mistakes as players. And then we kind of continue to keep that mindset of a one-week mentality of trying to win the quarter every single quarter. So
a coach's dream, having those built-in talking points, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And for team leaders like you, I mean, how much is it a daily conversation with the guys, or in practice just staying on them saying, hey, it's a bye, but we've got to fix ourselves or get better or improve upon things that we're doing well, and keep hammering those during the bye?
Yeah, I think that's something that, obviously as a older guy on the team, as a leader on the team, that's something that's kind of innate and something that, has to happen. We have 26 seniors, and so for us, like, that's great. Like, yes, we have, 6 captains, but I would say, like, in each position group, you have at least 2 to 3 guys that can really lead that room and really have a voice and a respected voice on the team. And so for guys like Jafari, for guys like, Tank, for guys like Lockhart, like all of these guys that's played a lot of snaps, they understand what goes into a bye week. They understand how how pros practice. And so for us, it was kind of just like, hey, we say it one time, and then, we kind of knew that it was time to lock in. So I think the maturity of our team is really showing. We'll see, obviously had a great first half of the season, see how the second half shakes out. But I think we have a really mature team and a really, smart team in order to attack things the right way.
I know 24-hour rule, but I'm going to ask anyway. Florida State, you apparently were sick that week. You
TCU game, yeah.
TCU.
Yeah.
But you just had these 2 great weeks of performing for your guys. I mean, what's it like to battle through things like that? And how is it with guys that are injured at this point of the season? I mean, what you're dealing with on a daily basis too.
Yeah, I think sense of community. For me, I had tested positive for the flu and strep on Monday of that week, of the TCU week, and so was with my my mom had came up to the house and had a mask on and kind of helping me out, and medicine I was taking and all of those type of things. So I ended up getting cleared Thursday. Did the run through on Friday and then ended up, being able to play on Saturday. And so, just all glory to God for that, of, healing me. And, I really just leaned on my community and coaching staff and players. And so for guys that are injured and nicked up, it's easy to stay engaged when you have a sense of familyness, you have a sense of togetherness, right? When it feels like it's just you by yourself, it can get lonely, it can get hard. But when you have other people that can hold you accountable, other people that you look up to, other people that look up to you as well, right? It gives a sense of community to where you feel like you have to be the best version of yourselves in order to have respect for them.
And as you guys are now in the top 25, 1 win away from bowl eligibility already, does that sense of community and playing for Dallas and SMU and all of that, does it even ramp up as you guys see more success, or do you guys have to just try to really keep things, kind of chill a little bit?
I would say try to keep it chill as much as you can, right? Because college football is crazy. You've seen Vanderbilt, the past couple of weeks knocking off Kentucky, knocking off Alabama, after Alabama beat Georgia the week before, right? And so college football is just so crazy nowadays that if you listen, into the media hype and listen to all these things, you can get lost in doing the main things and keeping the main thing the main thing. And so I think for us, keeping the main thing is just, continuing to emphasize the things that are important to us: running to the ball, tackling, blocking, catching, running the ball, taking care of the ball on offense, and taking it away on defense. And so I would say for us, continuing to keep the main thing the main thing. So
what's been your path to developing while you've been here? You played a bunch of football coming over from Stanford already. We're a captain there. You've been a leader and a captain on this team. What's been the key to you? Whether it's extra work outside of the practice times, or meeting with Coach Simons a little bit more. I mean, what's it all been like? How do you keep improving?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it was just time for me to go into another place. I felt like my time at Stanford, I was grateful for it, loved it. Had some of my best friends that was there, great coaching staff, but felt like it was just time for me to move on. And so wanted to move into a different team, see how I was, and things of that nature. And so I'd say when I first came in, it made me grow as a leader, because I didn't know majority of the guys on the team. I had to meet them and all the transfers that we had, and learning Coach Grizz's training methods, and also learning how Coach Lashley operates. And so all of those things, it just made me grow as a person. I would say attributing to my teammates, I just felt like I've been able to improve just based on the scheme that we've been in and running with Coach Simons. It's a different scheme. I'm playing, more free safety, where at Stanford I was playing more nickel. So just growing my versatility and learning, all aspects of the game. And so I think Coach Simon does a great job of giving us information, right? So you can be a sponge and soak it up, or, you can just say it at a wall and nothing happens of it. But our coaches do a great job of providing information. I feel like that's been able to have me grow and improve each and every week, if there's something that I can work on and something that I can get better at.
What's been that safety room like? I mean, you guys are pretty much all back. You guys have all had various amounts of success, but a lot of it, how tight-knit is that bunch? Yeah,
I think it's really fun this year. Last year it was kind of our first year all talking with each other. It was my first time meeting Zay and Ahmad and CJ and all of those type of guys. And so for us now, it's like we have that chemistry, that camaraderie of we play video games with each other outside the facility. We've gone out to eat with one another. We've gone and done bowling or movies or whatever it is. And so I would say last year was kind of like, okay, we're cool with one another, but this year I would say we're actually brothers, and we really care for one another and want to hold each other accountable. And so having those conversations with Zay during the game of, okay, if I have a bad play, John, lock in. Or if he has a bad play, or if CJ or Ahmad, right? Like, we have that relationship to where we can call each other out and also understand, like, we're coming from a place of love, not a place of, trying to be personal or attack that person. So I think it's really cool. I think we have a really good dynamic in that room. And I just, can't wait to see how we perform for the rest of the year.
What's it going to be like playing at Stanford?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. There's obviously, one tunnel. So it's, it's going to be fun. I know, the home locker room. I think we were in a away locker room for like a week or two, like when we had COVID. Like, we had to break it down differently. So my sophomore class would be in the away locker room. So haven't been in there since then. So it's been a long time, but have nothing but love, for the program and, the guys on the team as well that I played with. And so, it's just going to be interesting. I've been talking to Jake, how it was with him last year with Rice and going to Rice. And so trying to get his mentality and understand how that goes. But, it's just another game. But my parents and family is definitely excited to go back to Palo Alto weather and, all of the sightseeing and stuff that they got.
Oh, definitely. What do you see from them on tape? What should SMU fans expect from the Cardinal?
Yeah, so I think Ashton Daniels is kind of the engine of that offense. When he's playing, at a high level, that offense is doing really good things. They beat Syracuse, obviously at Syracuse, who's, a great team right now. They're playing really good football. And so, this is a team that, you look at the record and it's like, okay, 2-4, but then you watch the games at halftime, it's 14-7 versus, Notre Dame, or it's, 1-score, 2-score games at halftime, and then kind of throughout there's some certain plays, whether that's turnovers or whether that's, another team gets rhythm that kind of pulls the game away. So they're a talented team. Obviously Ellick, I've known him when he came in as a true freshman. He was a stud. Ended up tearing his ACL in camp, but we seen the potential that he had. So Ellick is a really good guy. They got a 84 who's also a talented younger guy that's playing, and so they got good skill defensively. I know a lot of guys on the defense as well. So should be a fun game, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
You got a lot of jersey swap opportunities there if you're in the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, cool. Well, thanks so much, Jonathan, for doing this, man. It's been fun to watch you, and we appreciate you joining the On the Pony Express podcast.
Yes, sir. I do watch the On the Pony Express on YouTube.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks. You heard it here first. Check us out on theponyexpress.com and on the Pony Express podcast.
Yes,
Jonathan McGill, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate Jonathan for stopping by. Really good friend of the show. Known him for a long, long time now. There's pictures of him from my past site with him in SMU gear when he was committed to the Mustangs before Stanford won out. So here's to him getting on the right side of that SMU-Stanford game this weekend and bringing home a Mustang win. You reach out to our friends at AKM Turf and Greens. They can handle completely redoing your backyard, your entire yard, into turf, into a putting, chipping area, or just a beautiful entertaining space. They did some work on entire lawns that really look like there's something out of a movie. And that's because that turf looks great year round. And you can have a fire pit out there. You can do some of those outdoor activities when you have turf like this, because you're not, worrying about weeds or, the ant situation is minimal. They can set up a picture perfect backyard, but reach out to them today. Use code PONYUP for $500 off your project today. Email them info@akmturfandgreens.com. Alex and Meredith, the owners, are also out in Palo Alto cheering on the Mustangs. So appreciate them for their support of the On the Pony Express podcast and SMU football. And last but certainly not least, this is a hard guy to get in touch with in a sense, because he's working towards that history degree. So he's got kind of an interesting class schedule with SMU, and that's star defensive end Elijah Roberts. He's been an incredible piece for SMU to add from Miami. He's been one of the best players on this team, and he is going to be playing a while on Sundays, in my opinion. So his time will even be limited after he gets done playing at SMU. But you talk about guys who are taking advantage of their time at SMU, and Elijah and all of these guys that we've had on the pod are definitely in that mix right now. They are guys that are being able to rub shoulders with some of the big donors and businessmen and women that support SMU football with life after ball. And Elijah's really taken this to another level, I feel like. And so it's fun to chat with him. As always, he's really been such a key piece for this SMU team. And we will talk with him in just a moment. But first, I got to remind you guys that we are presented by Roback, roback.com, RHOBACK.com. I've got on the collegiate hoodie right now with the triple D there. If you're looking at the page on the right, it's got just such an incredible feel to it. And I think for those of you who haven't tried Roback, we've got a great deal for you today that use code PonyExpress20 for 20% off your order at roback.com. It's first time customers only, but it is cooling down. The quarter zips, the pullovers, they're a must now for college football fans of SMU. Or you can also gift these to some of your favorite SMU fans or fans across the country. They've got a great lineup of college football apparel or just college apparel, and they all breathe. It's really great fabric. And again, Pony Express 20 for 20% off your order. That's RHOBACK.com. Appreciate Roback for their support of the On the Pony Express podcast and our entire On3 network. We've got a lot of great deals with Roback going on right now. So without any further ado, we do get to our interview with SMU star defensive end Elijah Roberts, who does give a shout out to one of our favorite On the Pony Express supporters as well. So check that out right now. Welcome back to the On the Pony Express podcast. I'm Billy Embody, happy to be joined now with SMU star defensive end Elijah Roberts, or Thoroughbred Hound, however you want to break that one down. We could do a separate podcast on that. Let's start with this. How was the bye week for you? What'd you do? Anything fun? Did you hit the fair?
I pretty much just chilled. I had a lot of homework this week. I'm a history major, so I had like 3 papers this week, or last week. But no, I've been fine. I was rehabbing a lot, cold tub, hot tub, just trying to get my body back. So
those last 3 games, since that last bye week, have been really physical, demanding.
Yeah.
But 3-0. What's this been like, this run that you guys are on?
It feels good, man. It really does, But like Coach Rhett says, we can't really do anything with those 3 games except build confidence off of it. Except, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. We know it's a good run. We know we can keep it going. So that's the run we're trying to do right now. Just really trying to keep it going, not too much dwell on it.
Do you guys talk about where you guys are at much, or do you guys just focus on what needs to happen to win the next week? I mean, how's the balance between, hey, we're playing really well right now, 5-1 on the cusp of bowl eligibility, but at the same time, like you said after the Louisville game, you got a lot of work to do.
It's easy to look at the rankings and to look at where we could be and where we, could finish at, but it's just like, you can't get caught up in that, especially as a player. Like every game, especially like in this league that we're in, this conference we're in, like Stanford's a good team, Duke's a good team. I'm not sure who's like Pitt's a good team. So like the rest of our games are going to be pretty much the Louisville game.
Yeah.
1-score games, close games, tight neck. So if we come out and we blow somebody out, then that's great. But we expect everything to be close. We expect everything to be tight. So that's kind of the mindset we're in to keep that mindset going. Okay, it's going to be a tough game. Like, expect to win, yes, but expect it to be a dogfight. Expect them to make runs, throw punches, and be ready.
You mentioned working on rehabbing and kind of your body and just getting ready for the next quarter of the season, if you will, as you guys have called it. What else did you guys talk about? What else did you work on? Did you see anything in your game that you wanted to refine?
I know for me, just playing faster, being a little more active, being around the ball as much as I could be around the ball, even when we're not getting so much drop back as we would like. Even if we're getting slide pro and sprint outs and all the crazy stuff, is just you got to be able to be active. As a D lineman, especially as a DN, a guy who moves around a lot, I have to flash a lot. I have to show my twitchiness, show my speed, show my power. So that's it. From a personal standpoint, as a defense, I feel like we're doing great. We just got to clean up the little things. All 11 has to be doing the job as far as whether that's up front, back end, whoever. So just everyone needs to be on point. Everyone needs to just keep that going, and I think we can.
What's it been like being back in the ACC for you? And your time at Miami was very different than what it's been here last year and now so far this season.
Yeah, it's been great, man. We're 2-0 in conference play, so it's been great. 5-1 right now, But like I said earlier, man, it's easy to look at that and like, oh yeah, we're doing great. But it's the middle of the season. Like we still got 6 more games, so we still got a lot of time to for things to not go as well. So you need to make sure that they can keep going that way with the way that we prepare and stuff. But I'd be lying if I said that it didn't feel great right now, man. It feels good,
What went into that Louisville win for you guys to dig down deep? You guys had that tough third quarter, and you look back on that. And where do you want to clean up, and also the things you build on is that fourth quarter and how dominant you guys were.
Yeah, like you said, man, that third quarter was rough, because we always pride ourselves, especially before the game in the locker room, halftime in the locker room, started fast, coming out strong, starting fast. So we didn't do that, and I was like, okay, like let's get it right. Even Coach Tibbs on the sideline, he called it out from a D-line aspect. He was like, man, like we just looked flat that drive. Like D-line just didn't look, it just didn't look right that drive. So I think they had the ball going into the fourth, and we kind of, I don't know what clicked, but we just clicked and just started playing lights out, offense, defense, special teams. So honestly, it's just like, I think it's the maturity of our team, man. We just got so many older guys who play so many balls, seen so many things. When it comes to football, it's like there isn't anything that can really shake us. Whenever we're playing good teams, every game is going to be a good game. So it's like they're gonna make plays. Like we'll be lying if we're saying that we're gonna go out and shut everybody out. It just doesn't work like that. So we expect them to make plays. We expect them to throw punches. We just got to be able to counter that, and you got to be able to throw some bigger punches back too.
What's it been like with this defensive line group, seeing it come together now with the depth that you guys have? You have Cam helping you out, keeping you fresh. What's that like across the defensive line?
It's been great, man. I think we have like 9 D tackles, 10 probably, who played this season and who actually are like good players who can contribute, who can, if one guy went down, like the next guy up. So interior-wise, it's been great. On the edges, man, like me, Cam has played great.
Yeah.
I put sack number stats probably don't show it as much, but Cam has played hard. He's played great. He's active in the run game. He's active, he doesn't really mess up a lot. He's a smart player. So having him behind me is just it's been great. I still learn from him. So having Cam has been great. The bandit position is deep. You got Jafari, you got Turbo. Billy Walton's going to be a great player. So they have our D-line is just so deep, and we know that we're not even tapped into our full potential yet. We could take over a game, just us up front, and I think we'll probably start to see that, coming up a lot more.
What were the keys that went into kind of turning things around? You guys played well defensively early in the season, but just as a team, it kind of looked, a little like you were finding yourselves a little bit. So what were the keys after that first bye week that, helped get you guys on track the way you guys have been?
I would say it starts in practice, just not saying that we weren't practicing hard, it's just taking it to another level.
Yeah.
Treating the scout team as if it was a game. And credit to our scout team guys, man, they have played practice, they have given us the best looks ever, going hard. You got guys trying to pancake guys, you got guys trying to make over the top catches. So the way that they practice for us has honestly been so great for us, and I want to salute those guys for sure. And just, like I said, just being able to take practice to another level, being able to and it's not so much physical, going so hard, pounding, but let's not make any mistakes today, guys. Let's not, let's not have any lows today in practice. So it's just little stuff like that, I feel has taken us to not where we want to be, but that next step.
What do you see out of Stanford from what you've been able to watch and take a look at?
Stanford's been great. They obviously have great coaches. They do a lot of stuff on offense to really, mess with you. They have a great quarterback, a great O-line. They have nice depth in the O-line too. They got good receivers for sure. Number 13, he's a great player. So they got some guys, man. They're running backs. I think they have 3 guys who can really run the ball. So they have a really good offense. Number 14, he's a great player. So it's gonna be a good game.
What's it like going out the West Coast? I know you're not trying to look ahead, but you guys are in the midst of a road trip run here. Anything you do differently, or what's your routine like on the road?
For me personally, like I said last week, I love road games. Playing in another stadium, another environment, because for us as a defense, people aren't screaming when we're on the field trying to mess us up. It's really for the offense. So for us, I don't really mind road games. I love road games, and just silence in the crowd is great. But as far as routine and what I'll do in the hotel, and as far as travel, it'll be the same. I like flying anyway. So
what's it like for you leading this resurgence of SMU? What you did last year for the defense and being a part of that turnaround, and now sitting where you guys are right now, and a lot of games left to be played, but just try to put it in perspective a little bit right now without maybe looking too far ahead either.
Man, it's been great. I try not to look too far ahead, but even last week or this week actually, Coach Tibbs told us man, take advantage of practice, because we only have about 6 more Tuesdays left, and it just hit me
wow.
man, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
So it just hit me and I kind of had a little moment. I was just man, it's sad, but it's it's good at the same time. I'm just so grateful at my time here, and like not even just like personal things that I was able to accomplish, just like the brotherhood and just like the memories that like, I'll have from here forever, like it's gonna last forever. So just being here, honestly, like, and like, you know, like looking ahead and just like what we can still accomplish and the more memories that like I can create and this team can create, like it's great, you know, like I can't wait for it. And, you know, like I said before, man, like I'm just so thankful to be here and the things that this school and program have brought me, it's just been great.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it just like exceeded your expectations when you came?
Like not even just on the field, just off the field. Like meeting people like Bill, like just having that, you know, Bill's a little crazy, but meeting people like Bill, man, and just like having those connections just like off the field, like I honestly could say that these connections are gonna last me a lifetime.
Yeah. What's it like having your family with you so much? They're the traveling bunch, leading the charge there with a couple other folks.
Yeah, they're great, man. So my parents, they, I know since my freshman year, in Miami, I don't think they missed a game. It was kind of hard to miss a game there, but I know last year here they missed probably 3 games. So, you know, it was hard for them to travel back and forth. I know this year they just made an emphasis. It's your last college football season. Like, we're not missing a game. Like, we don't care where it is. Like, we're not missing a game for your last season. So anytime that they want to come, you know, of course, like, they come. And it's just been great. Having them there is just, like, it's kind of refreshing, you know, like having your family there, you know. It's like, I'm kind of used to it now. So just having them there, and then my girlfriend's always here with them too. So it's been great.
What are the keys for you guys as you get back on the field to, you know, playing well this week? What have you guys been emphasizing?
Going back to the basics. I know as far as the defense, going back to the basics, taking, you know, the simple stuff and perfecting that. You know, like the base calls, the base plays, the things that we normally do, we got to perfect that. Like those are things that need to get tightened up, and like I said earlier, like our defense is so mature. We have so many mature older guys, the McGills, the Kobe Wilsons, the Isaiahs, the B Crosses, like there's so many seniors on our defense that everybody's so mature to, you know, like we could goof around, like we got to play for group as well, but guys can play around one moment and it's like, all right, let's lock in, let's put the helmet on, let's lock in. And I honestly love that so much about this team, and that's what we've been focusing on, just being able to, you know, tighten up the screws on the little things.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Elijah. We appreciate you
much,
jumping on with us.
Sir.
It's always fun to chat with you, and very excited to see you guys back on the field this Saturday, 5 p.m. local time in Stanford. It'll be the first game since 1935 between the two programs.
Oh, wow.
It's a big one.
That's
So history lesson for the history
Yeah.
majors. So. All right, everyone. For Elijah Roberts, I'm Billy Embody. Thanks for listening to the On the Pony Express podcast.
Thank you.
And thanks to Elijah Roberts for stopping by. Look, I know it wasn't the entire 3 hours for your bus ride, but I hope that this podcast helped it go by a little bit quicker and you're able to get to know some of these Mustangs a little bit more. And we appreciate all of you guys who joined us at Epoch Wines for the happy hour, for the tasting, and an incredible kickoff to the SMU-Stanford game. We're going to be doing this again. We had such great feedback. Nearly 100 people came out to the tasting on Friday night. So I feel like it's maybe a must now for Mustang fans who didn't get a chance to come enjoy this with us. And then you've got Saturday, which is a huge tailgate put on by Epoch Wines. So reach out to Epoch today. You can check out the Pony Express case as well, and go to epochwines.com/pony to buy that case today. You can support Bill, support the entire Walking Strong podcast, as Bill and Liz Armstrong, Epoch's owners and SMU alums, they met freshman year in geology. Well, the Pony Express case is a perfectly curated case of wine, and for the discount, so check them out at epochwines.com/pony. So check that out and support Epoch Wines, support the On the Pony Express podcast. We really enjoy putting on these events for you guys, and so check us out, and really appreciate you guys stopping by for this special edition of the On the Pony Express podcast. We'll be back with the After Stang show after SMU plays Stanford, 7 p.m. Central on ACC Network. But for all the guys, appreciate their time as well during the bye week to talk a little SMU football and where they're at as a team. But appreciate all of you guys for listening as always. We'll catch you next time on the Pony Express podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Pony Express podcast with Billy Embody. Follow us on your socials on X at SMU-on3 and on Instagram at On3SMU. And keep it locked to ontheponyexpress.com for more coverage.